Hello and welcome back to Dark Souls 1. This is part 2 of our Axe Only run, which, we made good progress last time. We started out, got ourselves the hand axe, the battle axe, the gargoyle tail axe, which I forgot to show off before, and 2 great axes, which, not gonna use them yet, can't use them yet because they're a different weapon class, but we'll be able to use them next time. In New Game Plus, possibly. Assuming we do that in that way, in that method. But we also got the large ember. And we can give that to Andre to get our axe to +5 to +6. Which 8 base damage, 4 additional, so that's on paper 12 damage. Not the best, but it's decent. And we have more upgrades to come. Another 8 base, 2 additional, so another 10 damage. Which, pretty decent little chunk of damage increase. That should help us out. And then we have 2 Titanite shards, which we can give ourselves an extra stability for the shield, because we have nothing else that needs Titanite shards, at least right now. And at this point, we didn't have the souls to level up, but we did have the souls to get the repair box. And we were going down into Blighttown, which I wasn't super confident in, so decided to spend most of my souls just here and now. So bought some Titanite shards, another 2 stability for the shield to get it to +5 because we can. And then we go off into the new Londo ruins and use the Master Key to get into the Valley of Drakes. Use that to cross the bridge into the tunnel, into the back of Blighttown. Which, at the end of the last part, we went to go in the normal way, mostly because I just wanted the pop-up for Blighttown, but we didn't get it. And, I mean, so far this run, I've been taking a very unconventional route. At least for me. Taking on a lot of bosses before I should. And that way through Blighttown is the way you're supposed to go. So, not the way that I go, but it's the way that you're supposed to go. And between the end of the last part and starting the recording here, I had decided that I wanted to save going the normal way through Blighttown for like a dedicated run. To play the game the way you're meant to. No wacky pathing, no skipping bosses until the end, no going to bosses early. None of that. Just playing the game the way the developers intended for. And hitboxes. Stuff like this is why I say I want a Dark Souls 1 remake. Just to clear up some of the janky hitboxes like this. But I figured doing a normal run the way that you're supposed to is something I could probably do as like a final run once I'm done with all the weapon classes, or do it as the final weapon class, who knows. But I wanted to do that as like a farewell to Dark Souls 1 before moving on to the next game. Probably Dark Souls 2. Because I feel like I owe it to the game to go through normally once. Just once. But I didn't want to do it here and then another time because I didn't want to torture myself. But Force Wings. I use this enemy each run as like a way to gauge how good my damage is, which 4 isn't the best, but it's not the worst. I've had one run that took 10, I've had one run that took 9, so I'll absolutely take 4. I'll take that any day. Now, I wanted to ignore the mosquitoes, and I killed these first two, and then decided to ignore the rest. You will see shortly that was a mistake. But take out this guy because we don't want to get accidentally toxicked, but we got poisoned instead because too focused on the toxic guy and not enough attention on the poison guys. So that's that. And sometimes that enemy just disappears. I think they aggro onto you and then just like walk off and then die. And I just don't notice myself getting the souls. I'm going to assume that's it. Which, just another case of the game being a little jank. But it's fine. And two-handed, we two-shot, and then we move over to the rusted iron ring because it lets you move normally through the poison, which is a big help. Especially since we were going to go through the entirety of the poison section of Blighttown. We weren't going to go into the upper areas, but go through the lower section at least. And normally I'm not a fan of restoring my humanity, but I did it here because, again, one of the rules that I have for these runs is to get every weapon in said weapon class. And Maneater Mildred has one axe that we need. And so, as per the usual arrangement, we come off into this little circle arena section to de-aggro the mosquitoes and to have a more dignified one-on-one. I say as I immediately sucker punch them because I'm here to win, not to be dignified. But with that, we get a level, or a level's worth of souls, along with some humanity, and the butcher knife, which my plan was to replace the hand axe with the butcher knife, but we need 24 strength, and we have 23, which thankfully we just got a level worth of souls. But it also requires 10 weight, which is a lot. So we won't be able to use it yet, but someday before hopefully too long. But at base, it still has better strength scaling than our +7 hand axe. So once we are able to use it in terms of weight capacity, it should be a massive jump in damage just because of how good the strength scaling is. But, okay. But for now, there are some items strewn throughout the bottom of Blighttown And I wanted to get my hands on some of them because souls and large titanite shards are always very welcome. So, going through the area, killing that enemy, large titanite shard, and then we go into the Great Hollow, which I didn't plan on doing. I just saw it and went, yeah, sure. Which I'm not good at lining those jumps up, but we got it, we lived, we got the Chloranthy ring, which will be very useful as long as I remember to actually put it on. Now, I know that there are like 10 or so little crystal lizards, which are chock full of upgrade materials, but this place also has a lot of gravity, which is the deadliest of enemies in Dark Souls. So I got the Chloranthy ring, I had the chance to get out alive. I'll take that. I don't want to mess with gravity too much. I know my place. And another large titanite shard, because they're very useful. And here, I wanted to run over to Quelaag without getting poisoned, but I got stuck on the ground, the slope. It's stuff like that that makes me wish Dark Souls 1 got a remake. Just to fix some of the jankiness in some of the hitboxes. Because, to me, like, I hear a lot of people say, oh, the problem with Dark Souls 1 is the visuals. But visuals are fine for me. It adds a bit of uniqueness to the visual aspect. Now, here, we could summon Mildred. I decided not to. And we went into Quelaag with 6 Estus. So, take note of that. And with that being said, I will let this fight play itself out. A little unfortunate that with the big AoE attack, I got stuck on the leg. No idea how I took that, landed in the lava, and survived. No idea how, but I'll take it. I'll take the 20k. I'll take the second bell of awakening being rung. I'll just take it. Whatever. We beat him with a hand axe +7, spider shield +5, the brigand set +3, the rusted iron ring, which I wanted to put on the Chloranthy ring or the blue tearstone ring, but I just kind of forgot. But whatever. Wolf ring, and 4 sips of the Estus, because we came in with 6. And we beat them at level 37 with 25 vitality, 24 endurance, 24 strength, 9 dexterity, 11 resistance. And we beat them first try. And then, since we're here, I decide to just come on down, get through the illusory wall, in order to get to the good bonfire down here. Assuming we have the patience for it, because this man takes his sweet time. But eventually we get down here. We're able to take our rest. We got 2 levels out of that. Just keeping those 3 stats as even as we can. And I was looking because we have to give humanity, or at least the way I do it, I give humanity 30 to the fair lady, which we have 7. We got 14 of these. We have 4 twin humanities, which doubles up to 8, which altogether equals 29 humanity. And we need to give 30, which, if you took advanced math, you may realize we're 1 below where we should be. So, we need 1 more. But we have these. There's no reason not to give them. So, we give those 29, and now we're just 1 away. And then, because Ceaseless Discharge is a free win, free like 20k, I think it's 20k. Because of that, might as well go do it. Which I really don't like how you can lock onto them. And I was gonna take off the hand axe, but then I realized can't do that, because then, according to my own rules, I wouldn't have beaten Ceaseless Discharge with an axe. And so, stupid rules that I arbitrarily do or do not follow. So we put it back on, and having said that, I will let this sprint back to the fog gate commence. What can I say? It's ceaseless. Super, super easy. Free 20k. Literally easier than the tutorial boss. And we beat him with the hand axe +7. The brigand set +3. The Chloranthy ring, the wolf ring, 0 sips of the Estus. And we beat him at level 39 with 25 vitality, 25 endurance, 25 strength, 9 dexterity, 11 resistance, and we beat him first try. And we got a humanity off of them, so we pop that, head on off to the fair lady, because that's the 30th that we need. And with that, Chaos Storm and the shortcut opened. Accidentally sat there, which I didn't mean to do. And here we put the shield back on. And see that we get another 2 levels. Which, every 3 levels is one tiny step towards the equip load that we need. But having said that, and looking at her stats, we decided to head back. Which here, I made a little mistake. Because there's 1 and then there's 2. And I accidentally went a little too far and attracted both of them at the same time, instead of the 1-1-1 that you want. But also, strength-based weapons and iframes are very, very good. And so, it was okay to take the 1v2. And Dung Pie is very good. I don't know if we'll use it this run, but we will always have an eye on Priscilla, just in case. You never know. But we head back, because we rung both Bells of Awakening. Flesh Mustache is here, and so we can talk to them and give them all of our extra equipment that we can't have or use. And after that, I decided to look at all the different axes to test out how they swung. Which, the light attack of the hand axe was a 1-2-1-2 repeating, and the heavy attack was a horizontal slash. Whereas the battle axe, the light attack is just a 1-1-1-1, whereas the heavy attack is a heavy overhead slam, and then there's the option for a follow-up. And the butcher knife has the same light attack of just 1-1-1-1. But the heavy attack is kind of unique, because it's a run and then like a diagonal slash, which is unique. I don't know if it's good, I don't know if it's the best. I don't know, I feel like that would come down to personal preference. But for the gargoyle tail axe, we realized it gives you extra poison, toxic, and blood loss resistance, which is neat. And it also has really good range. And near the bottom of the description it says that it bends, which I was interested in. Now it has the same light attack of 1-1-1-1, but the heavy, it does bend, and it's a full 360, which personally I think I would prefer that over the running one, though the running one is probably objectively better because of the range. But here, this looked like it had a lot of range, so I decided to look at them, which the hand axe, looking here, it reached like the sword in the bonfire. The battle axe reached to the end of the ashes in the bonfire. The butcher knife reached beyond into the pot above. And the gargoyle tail axe reached beyond. So, a ton of good range, a cool, unique, heavy attack. It just looks cool. It gives extra resistance, so I really wanted to use this, but it required us to put 5 extra points into dexterity, and it scales better with dex, which we're going for strength, especially since we want to use great axes in New Game Plus. So, we're not gonna use it, which is sad, but I do want to use it at some point on another run. And here I realized this weighs 5 and we can light roll, which means we're getting kind of close to being able to use the butcher knife. But 7 we couldn't, 6 we couldn't, so we can light roll with 5 for our main weapon, but not 6. So we're like halfway there, but not quite. We still have a decent little chunk of levels to go, but progress is progress, and I'm happy with that. So, and we head back off to Andre because at this point we have 3 large Titanite shards, which is only enough for 1 upgrade, but it's still an upgrade, which is nice. And at this point we only really have 2 options, and I am not going to take on Sif with a +8 axe at level 43. Not happening. So Sen's Fortress is the other option. Either way, they were both in this direction, so off we go. Where we can pick up 2 large Titanite shards. Very nice. And then at the top, we get the Ring of Steel Protection, which 50 points of physical damage is, or damage reduction is nice. And then here, we noticed a little window with the chain and the elevator, which was just another case of something that I didn't see on my first run through, but I'm now seeing on subsequent playthroughs, which is why I love to replay these games. And then we pick up the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring after failing a few parries, and that's half of our super stealth set, so. And then another 2 large Titanite shards. And killing this guy was very interesting because I noticed that parrying, he's on a different elevation because of the stairs, so you can't really get the parry off. And you can't really just normal R1 him because your weapon bounces off. So pretty smart from that enemy's point of view. But this guy not so much, because he's on even open ground. So we can parry him and we can R1 him. And we can steal his Flamestone Plate Ring, which 50 points of fire defense is also very nice. Not as nice, but still nice. And running over to the giant, we decided to just hack at his ankles for a bit. Which, maybe this is just me, but the giants in these games, I don't know about Dark Souls 2 because I haven't played it yet, or I know I haven't finished it. I played it, but I never finished it. And I don't think I got super far. I think I've beaten like 2 bosses in it. Maybe. But free 3k and a Titanite chunk. But yeah, in Dark Souls 1 and Dark Souls 3, the giants are just weirdly easy. Again, maybe that's just me, but they're giants. I kind of expect them to be difficult, but they're just not. But with him gone, we can get another 2 large Titanite shards and another poppable soul, which is nice. And then going down here, I was looking at the pendulums and they just kind of vanished. Which I tried going up to make them reappear, but no, they're just gone now. I don't know why, but they decided to just be gone now. But there I saw that giant, and promptly remembered that that giant exists. And yeah, that giant exists unlike Ricard, the guy who only knows how to roll. I mean, that's all he does. I'm honestly a little insulted that his AI is so bad. It's so bad. I feel kind of bad for him, but that's the giant that lifts up the gate in the cutscene, and that's the building with the undead parish bonfire. And looking over to the side, to the right of our head is the rooftop that we fought the bell gargoyles. And then looking a little up and to the right of our head, that's the little rooftop pillar thing that we rung the first bell of awakening. So I thought that was neat. And then running back to the bonfire, my character just decided to roll. Now you might think, well, you rolled, you idiot. But I'm using a PlayStation controller, which I use my right thumb, like I'm using a controller, and I use my right thumb to press the roll button. But at the time of that, I didn't even have my right hand on the controller. I was rubbing my neck at the time because my neck hurt. I didn't even have my hand, like the hand that presses the dodge button, on the controller. Sometimes it just does that. I don't know, maybe it's like how I plug the controller in or something. I don't know, but that's how I died, so that's how I lost humanity. But then I came over to the second giant, which, again, I don't know why the giants are so easy. It's like, I'm genuinely more scared of the tutorial boss than these giants. The tutorial boss is more of a threat to me than these giants. Which, 3k Titanite chunk, but I don't think they should be. I think they should be harder. Because they're way too easy. But at this point we had 7 large Titanite shards. So, went back, got another 2 upgrades. Which is nice. And then I was thinking about it, and I decided to not upgrade the shield just yet because I'd rather save that for my armor. But I don't want to upgrade my armor just yet. But take note, 5 Estus, and I will let the Iron Golem fight play itself out. That's 2 bosses in a row where something weird has happened. Like, I genuinely thought that he fell off or teleported or something. I didn't think that he'd be up above me in the air, but whatever. 40k, core of an Iron Golem, which we're gonna need for later. But yeah, that was just very weird. But whatever. we beat him with the Hand Axe plus 10, the Brigand set plus 3, the Chloranthy Ring, the Ring of Steel Protection, and 0 sips to the Estus Flask, because we came in with 5. And we beat them at level 45 with 27 Vitality, 27 Endurance, 27 Strength, 9 Dexterity, 11 Resistance, and we beat them first try. And from here we put our shield back on, and then head on off to the great, awful area of Anor Londo. Pick your poison. Now here we got a second Gargoyle Tail Axe, and got hit, but then I saw a move that I've never seen before. Again, I've fought multiple of these guys every run, and this is my 7th run. You can't be throwing new moves at me this far in. But here, I normally get shot in the back, and I normally have to dodge like 5 arrows from this guy at point blank range. But no arrows to the back, no dodging like 4 or 5 point blank arrows, 2 easy parries. This was just wonderful RNG. It was just very nice. Felt great. I loved it. And we pick up a Titanite chunk by the giant blacksmith, because we can. And then I spent all my souls on leveling up and large Titanite shards, and I took a few hits, which little unfortunate. And I was going to upgrade my armor, but I was 1 short, so I'm coming into this with 8 Estus, and with that being said, I will let this atrocity of an attempt play itself out. Oh, I I do not understand why so many people say this is like the best fight to ever exist. I mean, it's a really cool concept, and I can see the idea of the execution, but it's just far too janky for me. It's like Smough is always running, Ornstein is always walking, even though I thought Ornstein was supposed to be the speedy, Smough is supposed to be the hard hitter, but it's usually the opposite for me. And then Ornstein, when he does decide to move, always gets stuck on everything. He gets stuck on the pillars, he gets stuck on the stairs, he gets stuck on Smough, he gets stuck on the ground, he gets stuck on the air, he gets stuck on social anxiety. Ornstein gets stuck on everything. He loves to walk, even though he's supposed to be the speedier one when Smough is supposed to be the slow one, but he's always doing his charge attack and running. So it's just weird, it's backwards, it's janky. Wish that they remade Dark Souls 1 to give that fight justice, to make it not janky. Because it has the potential to be great, but the jankiness just gets me. I can't deal with the jankiness. And Ornstein and Smough is peak Dark Souls 1 jank. It's never worse. It's never worse than the Ornstein and Smough fight. Again, the fight isn't terrible, but man, it's overhyped. And janky as can be, but whatever. Beat him with a hand axe plus 10, spider shield plus 5, brain set plus 3, wolf ring of steel protection, 8 sips of the Estus because we came in with 8. And we beat him at level 50 with 29 vitality, 29 endurance, 28 strength, 9 dexterity, 11 resistance, and we beat him first try. And music, yada yada, skip the dialogue. Yep. Thank you for the Lord Vessel. Still haven't forgotten about the Healy Ring. I will never let that go. I'm sorry, I'm too dedicated to the Healing Ring. Again, maybe that's just because I'm more used to Dark Souls 3, but I need the Healing Ring. I'll never let go of it. I must have it. Really, really hoping Dark Souls 2 has a Healing Ring. God, I hope Dark Souls 2 has a Healing Ring. If it doesn't, it's gonna kill me. But we got 3 levels out of that. I went to the Undead Parish to go get one final large Titanite shard from the Crestfallen Merchant, because at this point I wanted to upgrade the armor. So after getting one more from the Crestfallen Merchant, we came back, realized I didn't have enough souls to actually get the upgrades. So we popped a poppable soul to get the souls to actually upgrade. And again, it's only 2 upgrades apiece, but it's still a lot of numbers. So, showing it to you in case you care. And it's not the biggest increase in defense, but it's a decent jump that will help us. It will help in our survivability. And as of right now, nothing else requires large Titanite shards, and by the time we get something else that does, we'll have gotten more by then. So we don't need to worry about that. We have what we need. We got what we got. We're good. And at this point, I was like two 2 hours and 10 minutes into the recording. And
Well,
that's usually when I want to stop.
yes, well, please.
I usually like doing 2.5 hours. Which, I'm really far away from the bonfire here. I didn't know you could sit this far away. I don't think you can sit that far away in the other games. And I accidentally sat down again. And it just kind of baffled me that you can sit that far.
There you are.
But I figured, like, I mean, we went through Blighttown, we went through Sen's Fortress, we went through Anor Londo, we got the Lord Vessel. We made some good progress. Not quite the 7 bosses that we got last time, but we beat 4 bosses, we got good progress. And I figured it'd be good to just place the Lord Vessel down, the Holy Bowl, and kind of use this cutscene as a bouncing off point to end this. Because the Holy Bowl gives us a giant laser beam into the sky, as sources of food usually do. Usually. Especially if they have a lot of grain. But that opens us up to Nito, to the Duke's Archives, and to the Demon Fire Sage. All stellar openings. And I figured this was a good place to end it, with Mr. Flush Mustache himself looking at us. Which is a little awkward, but yeah.